Thank you so much, Mr. Bishop, for coming to do this.
Yes. Thank you for having
Well,
me.
we really appreciate you taking your precious time.
Oh, it's no trouble at all. No trouble. I actually had some time, so it's good to go down memory lane.
And do you like the background?
Yes, I do like this better. I think it encompasses the goals of the album is to have space balls, if you will. Oh, the planets. I do love that Mulder and Scully are here because it lets you know that the truth is out there. Do you want me to introduce? Hello, I'm Zack Bishop, musician and artist extraordinaire. You may know me from the band we're about to talk about, Jack Scallywag and the Destiny Riders. That good? Good. Sorry. That is good. Thank you, Edward. This is very lovely. So, the beginning, eh? Who is Jack Scallywag and the Destiny Riders? I hear the earth call. Jack Scallywag and the Destiny Riders are about overcoming societal fears, conquering self-doubt, and they're just as important as space orgies, the beautiful city of Hartford, Connecticut, and freestyle rap. It all began on a beautiful summer day in 2011. My good friend and partner in crime, if you will, Mitch, my cousin. We were wandering around like vagrants, aimless with no point to our lives. Then we had a thought. We thought, let's go drive around on a golf cart, as you do. While driving, we realized something, that this world is magical. Not the kind of magic that can smite your enemies or grant you wishes or even entertain small children, but the kind of magic that comes from deep within your own soul. We believed in that kind of magic because we realized that that's what fairy tales are made of. And it was on that golf cart with the wind blowing through our hair that wild dreams and wishes seemed like they were on the verge of reality. We believed in fairy tales. We felt alive. We understood at that moment. That's what God feels like every day. Namaste.
Right, so from that shocking revelation, you came up with fairy tales.
Yes, exactly. And that is how we made our first song, Fairy Tales. Right. So we went back to our cousin's house where I had my computer set up. And I just grabbed a guitar and we went to work. Started plugging away. In about 5-10 minutes, that's all it took. And we knew we had stumbled onto the greatest secret in human history. Jack Scallywag and the Destiny Riders were born that day. Were there birth pains? None. Our hips remained supple. So from there on, the songs just flowed one after another, each one asking to become a part of this world, to enrich the lives of so many people.
What was the inspiration for the album?
What was the inspiration? Great question, Edward. We basically decided that because of humanity's inherent duality, that we could show both the greatest aspects and the most heinous of aspects, right? The best and worst. Worst means best and worst put together to create the single individual being known as man. And of course, our ending track on the first album, Pimp Steppin', was really about existence in itself, that it is the flaws of mankind brought to the forefront. We put those songs onto a website called Reverb Nation, and it was on there that we placed our song Jiffy Pop, a Backstreet Boys inspired ballad. Paying homage to those great kings of the street, we skyrocketed over 400 spaces to number 1. Now tell me, if that doesn't please the Backstreet Boys, what will? What will? After some time had passed with the success of the first album, we decided right away, we have to continue. We cannot let this fire fade away. So in 2012, we moved ahead with our second album, Sexy Velvet. It was as soft as it was suffocating. It was that push and pull dynamic that really made us become what we were. True riders of destiny. Some might say, oh, you tried to follow a trend that was already dead. Contemporary dance pop. But I don't think it ever really died. Thanks to pioneers like LMFAO. History is written by the victors. And LMFAO won. On the second album, our song Hartford, Connecticut really sets the story, a big pivotal moment in the Jack Scallywag and the Destiny Riders story. Sexy Velvet being a prequel story as to how the Destiny Riders met, Hartford, Connecticut shows the literal sacrifice that the Destiny Riders had to make. They gave up pure happiness amongst the angelic stars and their space orgies, all for the sake of mankind. And of course, setting it in beautiful Hartford, Connecticut, just wonderful, wonderful foliage and just wooded areas. And, it's a city with such a lovely view. It's just absolutely stunning, magnificent city.
Have you been to Hartford, Connecticut before?
No, I've never been. We were blessed and honored to have Mr. Morgan Freeman appear on the title track, Sexy Velvet. Our hearts go out to Mr. Morgan Freeman, wherever you may be, that he couldn't do more than just a single line from his 2008 comic adaptation, the film Wanted. But we knew that it took every fiber of his being to even say that line. For us. Bless you, Morgan. Bless you. We had thought that the good times would last, and much like brave Icarus soaring towards the sun, our wings were soon singed. Mitch had gone into military service in the Air Force and moved away. We had an uncertain future ahead of us. We decided to write some songs, tried to work on our third album, but it was all for naught. With the distance between us, the magic was fading. It felt as if years had passed. I didn't end up talking to Mitch for a good 4 or 5 years. It was like losing a limb. After about another 25 years, I finally talked to him in 2017. I had created a song called 7 Years of Destiny to commemorate the 7-year anniversary in 2018. Mitch loved the song. He felt the magic still, but distance and honor kept us apart. Well, I said, fuck that. I'm gonna put out this song for us. But of course, life gets in the way. So it never happened. It had seemed that we'd come to a point, a fork in the road, with miles to go before we could sleep. We knew that even though, for the moment, Jack Scallywag and his Destiny Riders were not riding destiny, after all this time, they needed a rest. But in our hearts, we knew that fire still burned, and there would come a day when they would ride again. And so another 3 years passed. A pandemic came and swept across the earth. Many were uncertain about how life would be. Many people had questions as to why they had to suffer so. The only answer that I could come up with is that the Destiny writers needed to write again. Conjuring up all the force of will that I could, I reached out to Mitch. We had a 5-hour phone conversation. He too still burned with Destiny. And burdened by such a weight, instead of being crushed under it, we embraced it. We said yes, they must ride again. Destiny was reborn once more. The album will be out July 7th. We both hope that the album will touch millions upon billions of lives. I just wish that the one life it would touch is my dear sweet cousin, Mitch. The Mitch Man, as he liked to be called, Mitch Man 5000, Waylon Smithers. He's got a big heart, but much like myself, he is an artist. And he needs that isolation in order to create beauty. It is from the suffering within that we find our true canvas. It's all there to be used to create the painting of the soul. I hope he leaves his isolation soon, because ever since those 5 days of us going back and forth with the process of creating the album, I have not spoken to him since. A part of me knows that he'll be alright. A part of me wishes he would step to me, pimp step to the light. But we'll always be in each other's thoughts, because that's where Jack always resides. And for Destiny, he always writes.
Has there ever been any negative criticism towards your work?
Yes, a very good question. In the past, there were some plebeians who don't quite understand the concept. These poor fools. They truly believe that it is just some haphazard whim that we create such magnificent beauty. Do I sound more pompous when I speak of these morons like this? Perhaps I do. But all I know is that the future will always be open for those who are willing to change. As it will become very apparent on July 7th when the album is dropped. The third album is the culmination of everything that has come before and will be, past, present, and future, all colliding. But without giving anything away, I will say that the third album will give you a shocking revelation, and then give you another shocking revelation, and then a third or fourth. But as far as a fifth shocking revelation, I don't think it goes that high. Although I have been drinking since 2 in the morning, and I have stayed up for 46 hours. That is good luck. But I'm fairly certain that Cthulhu is real. And of course the real world inspirations, such as the pandemic happening, as well as many other tensions and fighting and just horrible things. And this was really our way of dealing with it, was creating an album through this mutual isolation that can touch upon those themes and maybe, just maybe, give a glimmer of hope that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. But that tunnel is out in space, and I don't know how you're all gonna get there. I guess you'll have to become enlightened. Beyond this third album, I cannot foresee the future, for I am not the Muad'Dib. I am not the Kwisatz Haderach, the Whirlwind. I am merely only a prophet. Not Muhammad, because you can clearly see me on camera. But I feel that we do bring something for the future. And when we meet the future, I don't think it'll be with folded arms, clenched fist. I think it'll be a warm embrace and a sweet, soft kiss that will always remind me of a gentle summer day with the wind blowing through our hair as we ride on a golf cart, singing about fairy tales and fucking around. Namaste.
It's me.
Oh my God.
And it's you.
It's me. And it's you.
Do you recognize me? I know it's been so long, but...
You're so scruffy. But I recognize your soul. My soul. My sweet soul.
So I haven't seen this wonderful man in, it's been how many years now? Have we
Over a
actually-
fortnight.
A fortnight. It's been a fortnight.
Actual fortnight.
Basically, it is my honor and privilege to once again ride with this tall man. You keep getting taller every time I see you.
Oh, probably these loafers, right?
Probably. You know, the man in his loafers.
A man in his loafers.
Doesn't get any better than this.
It's beautiful.
So, Mitch, how do you feel about the new album? I mean, we talked about it for like 5 hours.
Electrifying. It's non-stop action. It's a kaleidoscope
Yes.
of musical effervescence. It's
That's
magnificence.
what, you know, it's the weird thing. I said the same thing. I said the same exact thing. Wrote it down. Is there anything you hope to gain from this, whether it be financially or just adding to the air of superiority that we already have?
I want to ascend into the Tao itself, to become the way. Pure liquid energy.
If you had,
one with the universe.
if you had to associate our rise to power with something, would you say it is much like Paul Atreides is in his ascension to become the Muad'Dib?
I would say it's much like the rise of Mao.
How did it feel, you know, riding once again for Destiny?
I felt like a free man.
A free man.
I broke the shackles.
You broke the chains of oppression.
Emancipation. Like our glorious Lord Prince.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
So, is there anything you'd like to tell the people that have missed your face? I mean, they haven't been able to witness the Mitch in his full glory in a long time.
You get to see Destiny itself rise again from the ashes like a phoenix. This is us.
Yes.
Jack Scallywag.
Jack Scallywag.
It's glorious riders.
For Destiny. This is what riding for Destiny is all about. Mitch, man, thank you. It's great to see you again. I love you too. Oh, that's sweet. I miss this guy.
My butter.
The album comes out July 7th on YouTube. Check it out. You'll get to hear this man's glorious voice once again.
It's so beautiful.
You'll get to see Destiny like no other.
I'm technically proficient.
Ascend to the heavens.
It's so
2020, your ass is mine. Your ass is ours. Jack Scallywag and Destiny Riders.
coming from both ends.
For life. Bang.
I don't give a shit, I don't give a fuck, I just wanna party and fuck shit up. Maybe I could blow up some policemen's cars, firebomb full capacity bars. I just wanna party and fuck shit up.
Destiny! It's beautiful.
Okay. Take me like one of your French girls.
Oh, boy. Oh, my God.